The days of inventory keep going up. It's 65 days now. But you put 150 listings on the market. That's a good thing. And 55 of them were 485,000 or under, for a total of 2,236 single-family homes active between 0 and 485,000. So that's a lot of that market. That's actually 37% of the available inventory. And we closed 66 closings yesterday for the 12th of July. That's kind of okay. We'll see more closings as the time goes on. And that is reflected in the daily sales for this month. You've done 79 closings a day, which totals about 953 homes for the month. So July is, one of those months. Last year it was hot, temperature-wise and real estate-wise. It was 122 sales a day. But for 2021, 122 sales in July was not that hot, because the average for 2021, the whole year, was 139 sales a day. So, the stats are a little bit all over the place. So you need to keep marketing and keep doing some of the things that we talk about here on Ruthie Rocks. So today we're going to mention one more thing about the stats, and that is that Jimmy keeps reminding us that the $1 million home sales are continuing to hold strong at $5+ million home sales a day. That's a strong part of our market right now compared to other years. I mean, look at 2020. We were only selling 1, maybe 2 a day. And then last year we were selling 4.5 a day. And now we're over 5 a day. So the $1 million home sales are creeping up there. And today we have 998 available. So I think Jimmy figured that's like 6-7 months of inventory at that rate of 5 a day. So anyway, that's the short and long of our market right now. So let's move on to what we were talking about this week, which this week and last week actually is listing strategies and how you attract more business to you, not just to your listing, but to you as well. So we talked about Instagram hyperlap reels, and I think it was Linda Eden who reached out to me, and I'm going to review that before we get into TikTok today. So then we talked about the geo-targeted landing pages, and then we talked about Facebook tips and Craigslist, and with the Postcard Blitz, which I really love. I really love mailings. Told you that the rates have gone up, but still, that just means probably less people will be doing it. So anyway, let me just, before we get into TikTok ads, let me talk about Instagram and the hyperlapse for a minute. So Instagram Reels, vertical videos, that's that Instagram offers. Instagram Reels, vertical. So they are just crazy good in terms of reach, in terms of exposure, and generating views, and all of those important engagement metrics. So I think you should be doing Reels, period, bar none. If you have listings, you need to be doing Reels. Now, I specifically want to talk about all of a type of Reel that you should be making with your listings, because they really work really well. And Tom Ferry and Jason Pantana have really encouraged everybody to continue to do it because of the results they see of their members and what they're getting from doing this. So, excuse me, my nose is itchy today. So when you're inside the Instagram Reels editor, so you go inside Instagram, you go into the Reels editor, there is a tool on the left. Let's see, this is my left. On the left-hand sidebar that has to do with the speed of the footage. So in other words, a hyperlapse basically means fast forward or sped up. speed up. In other words, that's what you should be clicking on before you do the video. So you can speed up the footage from a 1 time to a 2 times or a 3 times or a 4 times or whatever, so that when you record it and play it back, it fast forwards it. Okay, really simple, not too technical, really simple. And it speeds up a little bit, right? So you can practice that before you go do your listing. Practice on maybe your dog or your cat or your kids. But in other words, you want to make it to the eye kind of hard to stop watching because things are moving so quick. So you don't want to miss anything, right? The fear of losing, fear of missing out, FOMO. So again, when you do this, it makes someone watch it. So that's important. That's important. And it will be important to your seller as well. So now there's a built-in performance that comes attached to using that little feature inside of Instagram's Reels editor. So speed it up like 2 or 3 times. 4 or 5 might be a little too fast. And what a lot of innovative people are doing, real estate agents, is that they're going to their listings, they're bringing a buddy or a friend or a teammate with them who's going to hold the phone while they're filming them with a hyperlapse function enabled. Okay, so far it's pretty simple. All right, now, so you go tour the property and you just walk from room to room, but you point and you gesture because there's no talking. There's no talking. The camera is just as they point to the kitchen or the fridge or the countertops or whatever, the phone just looks at those things. So, and you tour the property and it positions you as the listing agent touring the property in a way that's basically going from semi-viral for so many of the people that are doing this across the ecosystem of real estate. So these reels are performing wonderfully and they're super easy to make. Again, there's no talking. And all they're doing is adding in some music from Instagram's auto library that's trending. And we talked about that before, how you find that. So I won't go into that today. And then poof, it's off to the feeds. Now, just some tips. Let's go back. A, make sure you're always smiling because your face says it all and you're not actually talking. Make sure to use your hands to point and to gesture, look at this, right? So that you want the phone to point at you when you're doing it. Hey, come with me, let's go into this room. And hey, look at that. You just want to keep the viewer with you, instructing them through your hand motions in the entirety of the film. No, you're saying that or to yourself. You're not talking. Remember, you're not talking. You're just gesturing, okay? It's a little hard for me to do, but I'm sure you'll do great. Number 3, the third tip is have the person that's holding the phone actually slow down their movements every now and again, so that when you watch the video back in its finished state, the viewers will see some fast moments and some slow moments, but there's a little bit more motion to the video. And that's the third tip is if you don't do it, it's okay. What I'm trying to say. So my point to you today is these hyperlapse reels, whereby you tour your properties and you're on the video, there's no talking, are doing incredibly well from a performance standpoint. So go do it. Go in on them. Go try it. It doesn't hurt anything. Hey, that's the other thing. Jimmy says, and how much does this cost? $100? No, it's free. It's free. So today we're going to talk about TikTok ads. So marketing tactic number 5 for us is for positioning a listing. And listen up, it's TikTok ads. TikTok for business is really amazing. TikTok has designed from the ground up a really world-class ad console. In other words, Facebook has their ads manager, which we teach it because it's a little You got to know what you're doing in there. And if you don't do it a lot, you can get lost and get frustrated. Google has its ads manager, which is a little bit easier depending on which type of ad you're using. The type we're going to talk about tomorrow for YouTube is pretty easy. And then these are the things inside of which you actually build your ad campaigns. Well, TikTok's ad manager is beautiful and easy to use. It's all, you know what? The TikTok came along after Facebook, after Instagram. And I know what developers do. They look at all the things that the other companies have spent millions of dollars doing, and they figure out, hey, let's make this better. Let's make this experience better for the person who's going to market and pay for these ads on TikTok. And that's what they did. It's intuitive, and you should leverage it to promote your listings. So what's more, TikTok has something that Facebook and Google don't have right now. And this, listen up, this is important. So I'm going to get a little bit technical for a second. Real estate agents in the United States and North America, around the world, are subject to a lot of different laws and regulations in terms of how they can and can't advertise themselves on their listings. I know you've heard of this. So in our states, for instance, we have the Fair Housing Act, which basically says that agents should not promote a property or themselves in a way that discriminates against the protected classes, and doing so would be obviously wrong. So let's go back in time for a second. A couple of years ago, when we would teach Facebook, you could pick an audience to target based on their income. Well, that HUD decided, Fair Housing decided that's discriminating, and you can't do that anymore. And they got sued by the National Fair Housing Alliance for basically enabling agents to be able to target in such a way that violated their fair housing laws. And then Facebook lost the lawsuit. They went head to head, but they lost. So they rolled out what's called the special ad categories, which apply to housing, employment, and credit, and also politics. So when you go in to create an ad, there's this kind of grayed out area and it says special categories, and you have to click on it, and then you have to pick which special category you're in. And based on the category you're in, will base how you can define your audience. Okay, so that's the lawsuit that they lost, and that's why we have to do that now. So in terms of housing ads, they basically prevent us from ever even inadvertently targeting an ad they might build for Facebook or Instagram in such a way that would even remotely violate the laws of fair housing, which was honestly a needed change that Facebook had to do. And it was great. It is, we are governed very closely by HUD and fair housing, and it is important. We don't want to discriminate. Land of the free, home of the brave. And we are the land of the free, so we don't want to be discriminating. Now, Facebook actually added some additional restrictions beyond the law. For example, now, real estate agents can target like a 15-mile radius, but you can't target a zip code. That's just one thing. So there's some other things built in there. But I will tell you that they have added some more behaviors. So you can actually hone in a little bit on first-time home buyers. You can, which they don't feel is discriminating. You can actually hone in on investors. They don't feel that's discriminating. So there are some other behaviors that have been added when they rearranged and added the special categories. Now, let's go to Google. Google has what are called personalized advertising policies, and housing is one of those subsets under which they are governed or limited in restricted terms of how you can and can't run ads and how you can promote. So again, the geographic area is one of those restrictions. And of course, Google knows, because if you've set you answer the questions properly, that you're in real estate, so you're limited. Now, here's the news. TikTok isn't that way. So, of course, as an agent, it's your job to know the laws. You don't want to discriminate, and you can't target in a way that violates the fair housing laws. However, TikTok does not have any additional rules beyond the law of the land, meaning that you just need to be your own proctor. You need to decide, and you need to be the judge of whether or not what you're doing is violating fair housing. So, for example, on TikTok, you have the ability to run an ad that was targeting according to a much more defined geographic area. That's one example. So you can hone in. It doesn't have to be that 15-mile radius that Facebook is confined to for housing. TikTok doesn't have that rule. So you can hone in, like if you want to hone in on your farm, and you want to let the people in your farm know that you are advertising on TikTok. So the ad will be shown to them. So my point is to you, you should look at TikTok ads just in general, because just that little thing I just pointed out in general will help to promote your listing in a huge way. Now, I looked at TikTok when I got into doing our listing strategies, and I've like dabbled in it a little bit, but then I thought, well, I can take my market videos and I can shorten them and I can post them on TikTok. So I'm going to start doing that and see just if there's, and then you can put hashtags and you can tag people. But I just want to try to experiment with it a little bit and kind of I look to see if anybody in Las Vegas was doing it. And I see 4 or 5 people were doing it. I don't think they have the visuals that we have. We have this to show people. And so there might be an opportunity there for you as well. You can, if you're in the group watching this or you're on YouTube, join the group and you can download this and you can use it as a graphic when you do your video. You can do lots of things. Now, if you look at my YouTube channel, I'm doing the $1 million videos, and they are 2 minutes. So I uploaded one of those. So we'll see. I'm going to kind of dabble in it and see what happens. And again, I don't sell real estate. You sell real estate, but I'm just seeing if it's easy to do and then explain it to you how to do it. Before I create an ad, I want to get some content on my TikTok profile page. So that is it for today. We are having a class this week on negotiating skills. And let me pull up my, oops, come on. Let me pull this up. Hang on, everybody. It's going to be 110 today. I will tell you what, I work out all the time. And this morning I was really, shall we say, glistening. The humidity does that to me especially. Okay, so let's hide this for now and talk about this. Modern negotiation strategies describe negotiation without factoring in emotions or irrational behavior. But in reality, all negotiations involve emotional factors and illogical reactions. And one of the things that I love about this class that Jimmy has put together is that, let's see, what can I say about it? He has studied negotiating. He has gone to the Women's Council. I think it's an 8-hour class. I think he went to it in California. And so he understands the negotiating techniques and tactics and counter tactics from their perspective. But then he's also studied Chris Voss. And Chris Voss, who was a hostage negotiator for the FBI, he is no longer working for the FBI, but he has a book out about negotiating. And Jimmy is I can't keep up with, executives read, 52 books a year. I think Jimmy reads probably twice that. He's constantly enlarging his brain with more data. He's amazing. But the class teaches you why it's so important, and he gives you the foundation. Jimmy gives you the foundation on what you need to know when you start negotiating, such as who are you negotiating with? That's always an important tactic. You have to know, who are you negotiating with? Am I negotiating with someone who it's all about the money? Am I negotiating with someone who is more of a task-oriented person, wants to know the tasks? So so you learn. There's Jimmy. Jimmy happens to be here. He must have heard me talking about him. Hang on. Jimmy, are you here?
Yeah, are we starting at 9:30 or 9?
Hang on.
Yeah.
I'm talking. Let me hear you. Put in my ear.
Okay.
Did you hear me talking about you?
No, I did not. I didn't know if we started at 9 or 9:30. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm, me. Hold on, do I get my other earphone in, everybody? So, Jimmy, I'm talking about how much you have studied negotiating and the negotiating techniques and tactics and counter tactics that you're going to teach on Friday. Can you address that and maybe give them some, some pointers and tips and make them want to come to the class to learn more?
Yeah, two things real quick. The National Association of Realtors offers a 2-day course called RENI, the Real Estate Negotiations Expert. And I've taught that. You have to be qualified to teach it, and then you can teach it. And it's 2 days, and it's all about case studies. It's a pretty good class. But the Women's Council of Realtors has a 1-day class in negotiating skills, and it's case study driven, it's experiential driven. It's a very, very good class, and I've taught that one a lot. And so I've taken a lot of the concepts from those two courses and put them in, I've distilled them down to 3 hours. We're going to do 9 different negotiation strategies in the class. Sometimes we only get to the first 6, but we talk about some principles of negotiation and how everyone negotiates all the time, whether it's where we go to dinner or, what time do I get up in the morning? I negotiate with myself. So we'll talk about some principles, but there are specifically, we will definitely get to 6 specific real estate strategies. And they're all based on psychology, and they all work almost all the time. So,
and you spend a lot of time building the foundation for the class on how you determine who you're dealing with.
Yeah, personality styles are a big part of it. If you're dealing with somebody that's a driver and you're treating them like an amiable, you're not going to get anywhere with them. They don't even relate to you, and they say, this guy doesn't know what the hell he's doing, and they lose all trust and they lose all confidence in you, and you're never going to reach an agreement. They've got to see that you're the same personality style as they are, and that's probably an hour of the class just unpacking that. You're right.
And I think that's very important. And I was also mentioning that, you've read Chris Voss's book. And what's the title of that?
It's Never Split the Difference. And I actually saw him at a Tom Ferry event. And I'm thinking, well, I've read his book and I've listened to his book. I don't probably need to see him. And when he came out, I said, well, I paid for the seminar. I might as well listen to the guy. And in the first 3 minutes, he talked about 2 things that I'd never heard of in negotiating ever. And I'd read his book. So they weren't in his book. So you get extra stuff. And I made notes, and I actually stuck those 2 things in the class. So even if you read Chris Voss's book, you might not have mastered the whole thing.
Right. Yeah. Well, you have done an awesome job of putting all your knowledge together in 3 hours. And we often talk about how that class should be 4 or 5 hours because there's so much to it. And like many of our classes, everybody, Jimmy and I always say, we need a part 2. We need a part 2, especially on this one. Yeah.
And for part 2 on this one, I would tell them to go to the Women's Council class and spend the day working on the skills that they picked up in this class and honing those skills and getting new skills, because that's a 7-hour class and it takes 7 hours.
And they should, and where should they go to take that class?
Anywhere but Las Vegas. San Diego would be good. Well, there's agents there that are paying for a class that is not CE. They're paying to get better in their skills and their knowledge. And if our agents in Las Vegas went up to San Diego or Washington or even DC and showed people what they could buy here for $500,000, they'd probably leave with 3 deals in their pocket.
Oh my gosh. I think you're so right. And I think that, we tell people all the time to do it. We need to take a poll someday to see if anybody's done it.
Yeah.
That is a great tip. Jimmy, the only other thing I wanted to bring up today is that we're going to start doing the 100 Days to Greatness in August on the 19th, and the class is from 11 to 1. And it is really, whether you're a brand new agent or you're a seasoned agent, we all need to remember the basics. And I know that the longer you're in business, the less you think you need the basics. But when you take this class, you realize, oh my gosh, I need this.
Well, and if you're not getting accountability from someone, this is going to give you some accountability. It's only for 13 weeks, so there's an end in sight, and that's part of goal setting is you got to be able to see the end. And 13 weeks is a long enough time where you can develop some habits. But this is what Brian Buffini and Tom Ferry and Mike Ferry, they all have statistics of people that they're coaching, and they 10x the average income of a realtor. If you're not making at least $300,000 per year, then you need this. It's a form of coaching. It's $500. You get coached for 13 weeks by Brian Buffini, is the best in the business, and you get held accountable by the other people in the class. If you cannot afford to invest $500 in this, you need to find a sponsor. Because if you're not making $300,000 a year, this is the class you should be in.
Yeah, and you could split it with your lender and say, I will give you X amount of deals if you will help me pay for this class. I mean, there's always ways to skin the cat.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I love about the class that we're having starting in August is it's going to give people time to plan for 2023 using this tactics and strategies that they're going to learn from taking these 13 weeks.
Well, and you need new tactics, you need new strategies, because the market has shifted to the point where we're going to do 20% less deals this year than we did last year. Last year was a record, so it's not surprising we'd be off the record, but 20% less. If you did 15 deals last year, can you make it on 12? Because 20% of 15 is 3 deals. So if you can't make it on 12 deals, you better figure out how to pick up those 3 deals you're going to lose, because the market is going to drop in transactions by 20% by the end of the year. What are your strategies to make sure you at least stay the same, if not increase?
Right. Yes. And I think we're going to get to, some sponsors too. So we might even give lunch a couple times for free.
Oh, that'd be good. That'd be good. Yeah, 11 to 1. We'll brown bag it, or we'll get a sponsor. We'll let you know.
Yeah, we can usually round up a sponsor. Jimmy, one of the things that I wanted to mention to you, let's see. I think, are we having a law class on Monday?
I believe we are, yes.
Yeah, 10 to 1. So I get a lot of people that for some reason they took their real estate courses in the summertime and got their license in September, October. So I know that there's a lot of people coming up now that need to renew their license. And so we're just go on bee.vegas to get all of our classes. We now have a bundle. So if you buy 6 classes, we give you a discount. We give you 1 class free. So you might want to.
It is law. The Attorney General. You're correct. 10 to 1. Yes, I just checked bee.vegas while you were talking.
Okay. Did you know we bundle now?
I did know that. Yeah. And it makes it easier for people. Hey, now I just put it all on my calendar and I know when I got to be there, and I know I got all my classes.
And I think the beauty of our system, because we've looked at other systems that have bundles, is you can reschedule. Like if you all of a sudden you have a buyer and you can't make Monday's class, you can reschedule. And we don't charge, there's no extra charge or anything. It's part of our customer service that we're offering so that you truly get that bundle and on your time and terms. So I guess that's it for me today, Jimmy, unless you have some words of wisdom.
Well, really quickly, did Kane submit the new risk reduction class yet?
Yes.
So it's been submitted. So if you need a risk reduction class, we have a brand new one coming out. I haven't seen the outline yet, but I know Kane's a really smart guy, and I know he's very tech enabled. And so it might help some agents that are maybe not tech savvy as much as they could be. And it's all about risk reduction, and it's been submitted. So we should have that next month probably.
No, this month. It's been approved.
Oh, wait, are you telling us? Oh man, I better put that on my calendar because I need to see what the heck he's teaching.
Absolutely, because and I think that you should be there to so that afterwards you could give him some tips.
Okay. I'm gonna have to look at the bee.vegas training schedule is on my laptop here. I'll check it out.
Yeah, it's the 25th from 10 to 1, which is a Monday. Hopefully you're not busy that day.
You know what? I might be at Key that week. I'll double check.
Yeah. Okay, everybody. Well, we will see everybody hopefully on Friday with Jimmy. And Jimmy, you're going to be on my show on Friday?
Well, yeah, I will be on your show on Friday, yes.
Because the class is 2 to 5.
Are we at 9 or are we at 9:30 on Friday?
9:10.
9,
I
10.
mean,
Okay.
9:10 seems to work for me right now.
Okay.
So it's 9:10. And I just wanted to let you know that today we went over TikTok ads. And so on our listing strategies, I'm going down the list. We did TikTok ads. And then, so on Friday, we're going to do some YouTube, Google advertising. And I think I'm going to let Jason Pantena talk about it because I haven't done it yet. And I don't like to talk about things that I haven't actually experienced. So he will do it. And then I'm going to do it with my YouTube channel. I just haven't done it yet. So
when the show's over, I will be there Friday. When the show's over, hang on with me for a second.
Okay. All right, everybody. Have a happy Wine Day Wednesday, middle of the week. And